Hi, welcome to Sexy Stylish Talk. Today we have a very interesting show. Our special guest today is an astrologer, life coach, and author, Linda Joyce. I am Luisa Diaz, author and founder of Luisa Diaz Foundation, which is a celebration of kindness. Now, let me introduce to you my fabulous friends and co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Samantha Basuto Drucker. I'm the host of Love and Design Project. I'm your lifestyle genie coming to you from Hollywood Beach, Florida.
Hi, everyone. I'm Delana Dixon, editor-in-chief of DivaGalsDaily.com, and I'm coming to you from Georgetown, Grovetown, Georgia. Woo! I need this astrology today.
Hi, Linda.
I'm Linda Joyce. I'm the astrologer life coach. If you have a problem, I can usually give you an answer to solve it. I'm here in New York, and I'm looking forward to speaking with these wonderful, sexy ladies.
Yes, thank you for being here, ladies. Oh my gosh, it is so hot here in New York.
Oh, yes, it is. I have the air conditioner on, for sure.
Everybody's looking fabulous. So, Linda, we are so excited to have you here. So, and you know, we wanted to get the most out of this 20 minutes. So let's get in right now.
Right, let's jump in.
In your first book, The Day You Were Born,
Correct.
Really wants people to understand from this amazing.
Okay, well, first, listen, this first book was written 20 years ago, and I still get emails from it because what it is an amazing, amazing guide, and this is what I mean, is I was an astrologer for years before I wrote it, but then when I studied Chaldean numerology, which related the number back to a planet, which was like having two astrological pictures, and I realized that if you put them together, which is your sun sign and the day you were born, and if you reduce every double digit to a single digit, everybody's either 1 through 9 somewhere, okay? Both of you girls are 8s, so we will you share the same number different ways, but anyway, that'll be very interesting when we talk about it. But anyway, without knowing somebody's birthday, because who wants to give away how old you are, right? So you can find out about a boss, a new friend, a boyfriend, a potential date. And what I've done, because I did so much research on this book before there was the internet, I went to libraries and checked out biographies and I would come home with them. But what it shows you is, first of all, I show the spiritual side of that sun sign and number and the ego side. Now, you can tell right away if somebody's more on the spiritual or somebody's more on the ego. The real place of strength and power is when you can integrate the two. Because this too spiritual makes you too much of a vulnerable and people can take advantage of you. If you're too egomaniac, you're too selfish and too demanding or whatever. So the best is when you learn when to be selfish and when to be strong and when to be vulnerable and giving and show your emotions. So the book has been a guide for a lot of people. And I'm happy to say that I should have it up on Kindle in another month. I've redone all the bios, so it's up to date. But I'll let you all know when it is up and running for the new version.
I love it. I love it. So it is like a kind of a little bit self-discovery. What type of person?
Self-discovery and guide to your family, to friends. I mean, I did an interview with a guy who bought my book many years ago, and he's been doing podcasts, and he called me up and he wanted to interview me. He said, when I bought your book years ago, he said, and I opened to my birthday and number, the quote you had under that birthday and number was a quote I had pinned to my computer for 5 years. Wow. So it was like, it was instant kind of love, you know, okay, this kind of resonates with me. And that's what happens with astrology. It seems so random at times, and we'll see. It seems random, but how much is really random? You know, you're born.
And how much is really true? How much is really true and how much is really random?
Let me say this about astrology, which people don't know. It's not been around just since the magazines, the back of magazines, they use it and distort it for all sorts of stupid reasons. And I understand that it's fun, it's entertaining. But the truth is, astrology, before it was natal horoscopes, which meant that they were using it to understand themselves. It was first used for agriculture. It was used for kings to know when the eclipses were coming, when the people would go crazy and how they could control them. I mean, it was used for also for agriculture, for planting. You had to follow the stars. And so it's been used for centuries for that. Around 2,000 years ago, with the advent of the printing press, it started to be used more for horoscopes. But it's been around forever. And it used to be, astronomy and astrology was called the twin sciences. One was more mathematical and astrology was more philosophical. So again, you have that more worldly presentation of what it's about, and then you have this philosophical and spiritual side to it. So I have both in me. We all do, and I have them both, I think, pretty now well developed. I used to be a little not strong enough, like most women are afraid to speak up when they're younger because we're told not to, you know, where it's looked down upon if you have too strong a voice. But I learned through living that that is absolutely
no. Now we are sexy and timeless.
That's right. And having that voice and owning your power is one of the most important things you can do, and it's one of the primary things I do to help.
And when do you feel like this passion for astrology?
Oh, well, the first time I went for a reading, I went for fun. A girlfriend of mine said, would you, I just went to this astrologer. He's amazing. You should go. And I well, why not? You know, I was a housewife then and I had a lot of free time. So I went to this astrologer, not knowing what to expect, thinking it was going to be entertaining. Well, I can't tell you, it blew me away. This person knew me better. No, let me tell you how it started if you really want me to blow your mind. He was very, very detailed astrologer. We're all a little different, but he believed in rectifying a chart. Like, okay, I told him I was born at 3:23 in the morning, and he would go back to see if it was the exact time of your birth. He worked back from major events in your life to that moment of birth, and then that was supposed to give you time. So I told him all of that, and I gave him one of the events in my life with the date, which unfortunately was I lost a sister to cancer. In my mind, it was the coming of age, one day after her birthday, and I said it was 21. She was 21. And he did his chart, and he said, no, she couldn't have died then. And I said, excuse me.
Wow.
I said, I know exactly when she died. She died one day on her birthday, and she died this year. And he went and did it. He said, I'm sorry, she couldn't have died then. Do me a favor. They didn't have cell phones then when this was happening. He said, call your mother. I went to the payphone. We were sitting in a diner across from this ashram that he was living in on 86th Street. And I called my mother. And he was right, and I was wrong because she died at 18, not 21. And
wow.
I had mixed it up. So that's how I started this reading. Well, the rest of it didn't disappoint either. He knew my innermost thoughts. It just blew me away. I was a changed person. This is like this thing with you. So I hired him on the mountain. I hired him that day to give me private lessons. And he used to always tell me, Linda, you're going to be an astrologer. You're going to make money in astrology. I said, no, I'm just curious. I just want to know how this works.
This is how it started. So Linda, one of the things that the date of birth, you know, I was born at 10:30 in the morning, but there are so many millions of people born at the same time, March 20, and the same year as well. So
but they're not born in the same place.
Oh, is anybody?
Yeah. Some are. And also, let's say
I was not the only baby born in Venezuela.
No, let's say you have two souls, but then we get into another dimension, which you might not believe in or so, but I do believe in, and I actually
so my question was like a footprint. Is anybody can have that? No, because
no, you have the same chart, but how you see it is differently. This chart of each of you can be played out so many ways. There's a basic way that it probably will be played out because certain strong planets take charge and others don't. But every now and then, a client can surprise you and they can use the nuances of their chart in the most amazing way. But what happens with that is what you bring to that moment in time.
Okay. So now let's start with the chart. I'm so excited about that, and I wanted you to really,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about our future, but let's start with Samantha because Samantha, it is the birthday girl today, and I wanted to
I know that's
share your birthday.
All right, Samantha. Well, first of all, you are, if we weren't even looking at your chart, you're a Leo 8, okay, in my book, okay? That's a combination, and it shows in your chart also. It's a combination of a lot of strength. You're a perfectionist. I feel what are you redoing in your house? What did you do?
Renovation, the whole thing.
Oh, well, then you must be driving everybody crazy, including yourself, because you are a perfectionist, without a doubt, and you are not going to hold back. Okay, the 8 is, Louisa, you have a strong work aspect in your chart. Both of these lovely women that work with you have strong work aspects. It's amazing. And how wonderful, because if you didn't have that, it wouldn't work. So they're both hard workers. They're very dedicated. That 8 does that. Makes you perfectionist, but also makes you want to get the job done no matter how long it takes to do it. Okay? Yeah. So that's part of it. But you have some, I don't want to say anger because it's in a nice aspect, but you're a fast girl, aren't you?
A what?
How do you mean by fast?
You're playing. You're on fast forward.
Yes.
All the time. And you know how to shake up a room when you walk into it because it's not going to stay the same. And yet you have a very strong anchoring side to yourself with that Saturn, which is what the 8 rules. And it balances you, thank God. But you're so intuitive. Do you know you're also very intuitive? Do you listen to it? Because you should. But the Saturn is opposite. So it might make you sometimes not trust what you're feeling because you want to see what you want to see. But if we listen to our instincts, it will tell you what you really need to look at. So you have, your career will change. You like change. You're not a person who stays in the same groove for long.
We like change. We like change. Yes.
Guys, and your Sag rising, by the way, which is the sign of wisdom and travel and journeying through life, and that's conjunct Neptune. You have a very strong spiritual side if you want to open up to it. You have 2 planets in your 12th house, which is the unconscious, the Pisces house, but it's telling you that you know that there's something more to life than what you see, and the more you really get in touch with that, actually, the easier your chart will work for you, because you could be your own worst enemy. That you're only your own worst enemy if you put too much on your plate and you try too hard.
Wow.
Wow. This is so interesting, but let's, because of time, let's go back to Delena very quick, because remember
yes, we're going to move right along. So please tell me.
Delena, I wanted to let you know about Delena that she's single, and so tell her. I wanted to know
I'm looking for love.
Marry every time.
Right. Well, here we have a Libra 8. Okay, Libra's biggest problem is this. They're either the pleasers or the leaders. And I think you probably have a little bit of both, right?
Yes, definitely.
But you do like to lead. You have a very strong, your sun is conjunct Pluto, so you prefer to lead. In fact, it's not that you don't, but there's an understanding of there's all Libras want to be liked. They want to be seen as good people. And,
yes.
And if you take it too far, it can lead you astray. So, but if you took the other too far, it would lead you astray. If you took your power too strong, okay? So just moving it right along. You're also stubborn as hell. Do you know that?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. You make up your mind. Oh my God, nobody's going to get you off that path.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. You also, you're Cancer rising. So there's a very, you have a private side to you that you don't necessarily show the world, but you hold, Cancer is not necessarily, it's very creative, very out there. Now let's talk about men. You have Capricorn ruling your house of men, and the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. Okay, so now this is the problem. You want to be in charge, but you want somebody strong. So that's a problem.
That's probably, Samantha, would you say that's right?
So the strong guy you want, you'll get men that you have often, Saturn and Taurus. I'll bet you get men that you're their mother. You have to take care of them.
I'm gonna get up right now.
So, Linda, darling, do you see any soulmate very soon on
Oh, listen, absolutely. It's been a tough time with the sign of Capricorn. By the end of the year, it's shifting. And I think that what she has to do, though, she doesn't realize is that she's keeping it out a bit. You're afraid of being vulnerable. And what happens when you fall in love? You're vulnerable. So you need to meditate, practice letting go, and realize, and just remember this when you're in doubt. Nobody can take your power from you unless you do.
That's right. Okay,
Nobody.
we're looking
I'm
forward
gonna ask more because
You know somebody nice for Delana?
Honey, I'll keep her in mind. Believe me, she's
Please.
fabulous.
What about Louisa?
What about me, right? Okay. What about
Louisa? We're talking about her book and her life, and she has a major change coming up in her career by the end of the year too. There's a major shift in the planets, and let me tell you something. Your career, honey, is going to take off in a big way, in more than it is, and it can start even now. It doesn't have to start exactly when a planet reaches that peak point. It can start. You draw circles around it. It can start. You feel the waves before they hit you, right? And you deal with them. So it's coming, and it's going to be there. The good news is it's going to be there for the next 2.5 years are going to be very important for you when it comes to career and success. And she's Gemini rising. This is a girl who likes to handle a lot of things at one time. I mean, she could juggle for sure. And also, we talked about stubborn before. You have a lot of, when I say stubborn, I actually say it as a compliment. The other word for stubborn is perseverance. Mm-hmm. Stubborn means you're blocking it. Perseverance means you don't give up because the door is slammed in your face or you get a no.
Yes, perseverance, yes.
Yeah, and you have to succeed in this world today, you have to keep going. Listen, one of the best gifts my mother gave me is my mother never took no for an answer. It was a nightmare too, but I learned, listen, when I got my first rejection on my book, it didn't bother me. It was everybody said, oh, you're going to give up. I said, what? It's one rejection. I was like, come on. My mother would do it until she got her yes. And I thought, and she always got it. So It taught me, if you persevere, those doors open. So it's a very important thing to learn. So when I say all of you girls are a little bit stubborn, I'm doing it for fun. But the truth is you're all very persevering and you're all very strong women. And I feel very blessed to meet all of you because you're amazing. And I also want to say to Louisa, before we move on to any other topic, that I did download her book and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing because she's using a strength in reality that you have to have both of these. People too much have given their power away. And to really be sexy, so many of the things she says is to really be sexy, you have to own who you are. You have to be who you are and not afraid to please someone. You should be nice, you should be gracious, you should be kind, all of those things. You should listen, you shouldn't just have an ego, but you don't have to take, excuse my words, any shit from anyone either.
Exactly. Thank you.
And when you say that in a nice way, usually when you own your power, you very seldom have to defend it because people know who they can get away with and who they can't.
That's right. And that's what made you sexy and timeless.
That's right.
So, right? It is about embracing.
I would recommend the book to anybody who wants to know what's wrong with their sex life. Read the book.
Thank you. And I know before we go, because it's so interesting and I wanted to keep you going, Linda, but one more question, my darling. Mm-hmm. I know that you have interviewed so many men for you.
Oh my God.
Book, and I wanted you to tell us, because we have a single girl here, a single lady, Delana. So what did you learn? What do you learn about men and what men really want?
Okay, when men don't know what they want.
I want to hear this too.
Okay, men really don't know what they want. Okay, yes, they do. They want what they want is not what's good for them, and part of them know it. Scarface's quote is: first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. A woman is the ultimate prize for a man. That's what they want. That's the primal part of them. The male, alpha male, wants to get all the women. But that's what he wants. That's not what's going to make him happy.
Mm.
That's what he wants. And a lot of men know that they're caught between wanting to please the men, other men in their life, and being the macho man, and the ones that want to be like in the old days when people actually got married, it was so much easier because marriage kind of tamed a guy a bit. He had to pull in and think of other people. He had to be more, because men are, in primal days, men protected the community. They were the fighters. They were out there. They had a cause. Men need a cause. You can be their cause, but you should not give in to a man too soon. I don't care what the sexual environment is. Men like to chase. If you're too easy, guess what they said? I couldn't believe this.
What did they say? What did they say?
They want to feel special. And if you just sleep with them and you sleep with everybody else, they're not special. They want to be that special person in your life. Now, that's one way. Make them work for it a little bit. Second of all, yes, stroke their ego. Stop competing with the man. If you're really strong, you don't have to prove it. Just don't let anybody push you around. So give a man, he has a bigger ego than females. The females now that have a big ego are trying to compete with men and get validation for it. That's never going to happen the right way. What you have to do, they'll give you anything if you make them feel like a man.
Oh, that's
They
funny.
don't even care if you lie to them. They don't even care if you lie to them. They love it. Just do it.
Oh my
Oh my God, I love it. I love all
They're
the
a lot
advice.
easier to handle, and they hate emotional discussions. One of the funniest things I ask them is, how do you argue with a woman? And they almost lost their mind because women argue emotionally and men don't want to hear anything about that emotion. They want black and white, bottom line, tell them what you want, don't discuss it. I had a girlfriend of mine say,
Oh my God.
a girlfriend of mine who said, the most unsatisfaction thing in life is having an emotional discussion with a man.
Thank you, Linda, for sharing. I think that this is so great, and a lot of women need to know. But it is so important, standards and boundaries, and I speak about that in my book.
Yes, you do.
Ladies,
And it really works.
It's really important to have defined standards and get your boundaries.
Exactly. That's what I loved about it. That's what I loved about your book.
Yes, because if you do not love yourself, guess what? Who is going to love you? It's extremely important to start.
Exactly.
It's a love to start with ourselves first, right? Well, ladies, oh my God, thank you so much for being here. But before we go, I need to say happy birthday to my beautiful co-host, Samantha Forever Sex and Kindness. Samantha,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, darling. Happy birthday. Always sexy.
Happy birthday, Samantha, again.
Thank you so much, guys. You know how much I love you, ladies. Thank you so much. Cheers to you.
Thank you,
Here.
darling. Thank you. Mwah. And Dilena, who else is a birthday?
I just want to say happy birthday to my very good friend, Rebecca. We've been through thick and thin together. So happy birthday, girl. You deserve a good one this year.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Remember, learning about yourself is the best investment that you can do. Remember, knowledge is sexy. Ladies, get your standards and boundaries straight. All start with you. Be kind to yourself and others. Besitos.